Hey guys, what's up? I just got done reading a really fascinating story, and I've heard this story before, but I wasn't sure how true it was until I found it in this book, and it has the whole original article, and it's very detailed, and it even has a picture of the actual article, like they took a picture of the front page. So, the title of the article is Explorations in the Grand Canyon. Mysteries of Rich Cavern Being Brought to Light. It says Jordan is enthused, and then it says remarkable finds indicate ancient people migrated from Orient. If I mispronounce any words, sorry, I'm outside and I don't trust this neighborhood. Yeah, somebody's walking down the road. It says the latest news of the progress of the explorations of what is now regarded by scientists as not only the oldest archaeological discovery in the United States, but one of the most valuable in the world, was mentioned some time ago in the Gazette. And it was brought to the city by G.E. Kincaid, the explorer who found this great underground citadel of the Grand Canyon during a trip from Green River, Wyoming, down the Colorado River in a wooden boat to Yuma several months ago. They disappeared. Anyway. Sorry, I am smoking. I know smoking's bad. Just don't do what I do. Anyway, according to the story related to the Gazette, the archaeologists of the Smithsonian Institute, imagine that, which is financing the explorations, imagine that, have made discoveries which almost conclusively prove that the race which inhabited this mysterious cavern, hewn in solid rock by human hands, was of Oriental origin, possibly from Egypt, tracing back to Ramses. If their theories are borne out by the translation of the tablets engraved with hieroglyphics, the mystery of the prehistoric peoples of North America, their ancient arts, who they were and whence they came, will be solved. Egypt and the Nile, and Arizona and the Colorado will be linked by a historical chain running back to ages which stagger the wildest fancy of the fictionist. I don't know why it says the Colorado, but it does. Sorry, this neighborhood's really bad, so I'm always looking around. Under the direction of Professor S.A. Jordan, the Smithsonian is now pursuing the most thorough explorations. Did you guys hear that? Which will be continued until the last link in the chain is forged. Nearly a mile underground, about 1,480 feet below the surface, the long main passage has been delved into to find another mammoth chamber from which radiates scores of passageways. Like the spokes of a wheel, several hundred rooms have been discovered, reached by passageways running from the main passage, one of them having been explored for 854 feet, and another 634 feet. The recent finds include articles which have never been known as native to this country, and doubtless they had their origin in the Orient. War weapons, copper instruments, sharp-edged and hard as steel, indicate the high state that civilization reached by these strange people. I'm sorry. Being outside in the winter always makes my nose stuffy. So interested have the scientists become that preparations have been made to equip the camp for extensive studies, and the force will be increased to 30 or 40 persons. Before going further into the cavern, better facilities for lighting will have to be installed, for the darkness is dense and quite impenetrable for the average flashlight. In order to avoid being lost, wires are being strung from the entrance to all passageways leading directly to large chambers. How far this cavern extends, no one can guess, but it is now the belief that many that have already been explored are merely the barracks, to use an American term, for the soldiers, and that far into the underworld will be found the main communal dwellings of the families. The perfect ventilation of the cavern, which is the steady draught that blows through, indicates that there is another outlet to the surface. Kincaid was the first white man born in Idaho and has been an explorer and hunter all of his life, 30 years having been in the service of the Smithsonian. That is italicized. Even briefly recounted, his history sounds fabulous, almost grotesque. First, I would impress that the cavern is nearly inaccessible. The entrance is 1,486 feet down the sheer canyon wall. It is located on government land, and no visitor will be allowed there under penalty of trespass. The scientists wish to work unmolested, I hope so, without fear of archaeological discoveries being disturbed by curio or relic hunters. A trip there would be fruitless, and the visitor would be sent on his way. The story of how I found the cavern has been related, but in a paragraph, I was journeying down the Colorado River in a boat, alone, looking for mineral. Some 42 miles up the river from the El Tabor Crystal Canyon, I saw on the east wall stains in the sedimentary formation about 2,000 feet above the riverbed. There was no trail to this point, but I finally reached it with great difficulty. Above a shelf which hid it from view from the river was the mouth of the cave. There are steps leading from this entrance some 30 yards to what was, at the time the cavern was inhabited, the level of the river. When I saw the chisel marks on the wall inside the entrance, I became interested, secured my gun, and went in. During the trip, I went back several hundred feet along the main passage, till I came to the crypt in which I discovered the mummies. I didn't read this all the way. I mean, I've heard this story numerous times, but never read the main article. One of these I stood up and photographed by flashlight. I gathered a number of relics, which I carried down the Colorado to Yuma, from whence I shipped them to Washington with details of the discovery. Following this, the explorations were undertaken. It is really cold out. My hands are freezing, and this is really long. Okay, the main passageway is about 12 feet wide, narrowing to 9 feet toward the farther end. About 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages branch off to the right and left, along which, on both sides, are a number of rooms about the size of ordinary living rooms of today, though some are 30 by 40 feet square. These are entered by oval-shaped doors and are ventilated by round air spaces through the walls into the passages. The walls are about 3 feet 6 inches in thickness. The passages are chiseled or hewn as straight as could be laid out by an engineer. The ceilings of many of the rooms The ceilings of many of the rooms converge to a center. They converge to a center. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the rear they gradually reach a right angle in direction. Over 100 feet from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which is found the idol or image of the people's god, sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. Wow. The cast of the face is oriental, and the carving shows a skillful hand. And the entire is remarkably well preserved, as is everything in the cavern. The idol most resembles Buddha, oh my god, though the scientists are not certain as to what religious worship it represents. Taking into consideration everything found thus far, it is possible that this worship most resembles the ancient people of Tibet. Surrounding this idol are similar images, some very beautiful in form, others crooked-necked in distorted shapes, symbolical probably of good and evil. There are 2 large cactus with protruding arms, one on each side of the dais, I think, D-A-I-S. on which the god squats. All this is carved out of hard rock, resembling marble. Marble is really hard. In the opposite corner of the cross hall were found tools of all descriptions, made of copper. These people undoubtedly... Gotta turn the page. Knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemists for centuries without result. You want to see this kitty that randomly just showed up at my house? He's so big and fluffy. Hello, kitty. He says, no, don't photograph me. Okay. On a bench running around the workroom was some charcoal and other material probably used in the process. There is also slag and stuff similar to mate, showing that these ancients smelted ores, but so far no trace of where or how this was done has been discovered, nor the origin of the ore. Among the other finds are vases or urns and cups of copper and gold, made very artistic in design. The pottery work includes enameled ware and glazed vessels. Another passageway leads to granaries, such as are found in the Oriental temples. They contain seeds of various kinds. One very large storehouse has not yet been entered, as it is 12 feet high and can be reached only from above. Wow. 2 copper hooks extend on the edge, which indicates that some sort of ladder was attached. These granaries are rounded, as the materials of which they are constructed, I think, is very hard cement. A gray metal is also found in this cavern, which puzzles the scientists, for its identity has not yet been established. It resembles platinum. Whoa. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. Like, that's crazy. Strewn promiscuously over the floor everywhere are what people called cat eyes, a yellow stone of no great value. Each one is engraved with the head of a Malay type. On all of the urns or walls over doorways and tablets of stone which were found by the image are the mysterious hieroglyphics, the key to which the Smithsonian Institute hopes yet to discover. The engraving on the tablets probably has something to do with the religion of the people. Similar hieroglyphics have been found in southern Arizona. Among the pictorial writings, only 2 animals are found. One is of prehistoric type. The tomb or crypt in which the mummies were found is one of the largest of the chambers, the walls slanting back at an angle of about 35 degrees. On these are tiers of mummies, each one occupying a separate hewn shelf. My nose is sweating. On these are tiers of I said that. At the head of each is a small bench. One of which is found copper cups and pieces of broken swords. Some of the mummies are covered with clay, and all are wrapped in a dark fabric. The urns or cups on the lower tiers are crude, while as the higher shelves are reached, the urns are finer in design, showing the later stage of civilization. It is worthy of note that all of the mummies examined so far have proved to be male, no children or female being buried here. This leads to the belief that this exterior section was the warriors' barracks. Or barracks. Okay, why is this car pulling up? I've never seen this car. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. It's like a white Mustang. I'm just gonna keep recording. Hold on a second. At least if something happens, I'll have it on tape, right? Anyway. Among the discoveries, no bones of animals have been found, no skins, no clothing, no bedding. Many of the rooms are bare but for water vessels. One room, about 40 by 700 feet, was probably the main dining hall, for cooking utensils are found here. What these people lived on is a problem, though it is presumed that they came south in the winter and farmed in the valleys, going back north in the summer. Upwards of 50,000 people could have lived in the caverns comfortably. One theory is that the present Indian tribes found in Arizona are descendants of the serfs or slaves of the people which inhabited the cave. Undoubtedly, a good many thousand of years before the Christian era, a people lived here which reached a high stage of civilization. Chronology The chronology of human history is full of gaps. Professor Jordan is much enthused over the discoveries and believes that the find will prove of incalculable value in archaeological work. Hold on a second. Can you guys see that? I can't tell. This is a picture of the real article. Okay, my neighbor just got home and I didn't want to be reading out loud when they walked up. Okay, where was I? Sorry. One thing I have not spoken of may be of interest. There is one chamber, the passageway to which is not ventilated, and when we approached it, a deadly snaky smell struck us. Our lights would not penetrate the gloom, and until stronger ones are available, we will not know what the chamber contains. What is it? What do snakes smell like? A strong snaky smell? I mean, I've had pet snakes. I don't think they stink, but maybe I just got used to it. Oh, my nose is bothering me. Anyway, some say snakes, but others boo-hoo this idea and think it may contain a deadly gas or chemicals used by the ancients. No sounds are heard, but it smells snaky just the same. The whole underground installation gives one of shaky nerves the creeps. The gloom is like a weight on one's shoulders, and our flashlights and candles only make the darkness blacker. Imagination can revel in conjectures and ungodly daydreams back through the ages that have elapsed till the mind reels dizzily in space. In connection with this story, it is notable that among the Hopi Indians, the tradition is that their ancestors once lived in an underworld in the Grand Canyon till dissension arose between the good and the bad. The people of one heart and the people of two hearts, Machado, maybe, who was their chief, counseled them to leave the underground world, but there was no way out. The chief then caused a tree to grow up and pierce the roof of the underworld, and then the people of one heart climbed out. They tarried by the Red River, which is the Colorado, and grew grain and corn. They sent out a message to the Temple of the Sun, asking the blessing of peace, goodwill, and rain for the people of one heart. The messenger never returned. But today, at the Hopi villages at sundown, can be seen the old men of the tribe out on the housetops gazing towards the sun, looking for the messenger. When he returns, their lands and ancient dwelling place will be restored to them. That is the tradition. Among the engravings of animals in the cave is seen the image of a heart over the spot where it is located. The legend was learned by W.E. Rollins, the artist, during a... Oh my gosh, Wynn, stop it. During a year spent with the Hopi Indians. There are two theories of the origin of the Egyptians. One is that they came from Asia, another that the racial cradle was in the Upper Nile region. Herein, an Egyptologist believed in the Indian origin of the Egyptians. The discoveries in the Grand Canyon may further throw light on human evolution in prehistoric ages. Okay. One thing that this article doesn't say that I've read is that they... Oh God, sorry. One thing that this article doesn't say is that I'm pretty sure that they dynamited the entrance of this cave. Like, they blew it up so that nobody could go inside of it ever again. And I don't know if you guys know this, but... Okay, sorry. It's not going to work. From what I've read about giants, and you can laugh if you want, but there were so many, probably hundreds, if not thousands, of newspaper articles about giant remains being discovered, especially around burial mounds. Throughout the 1800s and early 1900s, a lot of these cases were connected with the Smithsonian. So a lot of people, you like my earrings? A lot of people believe that the Smithsonian has a cover-up to keep this history hidden because they've had no idea what they've been talking about this whole time. I personally think that they fear that all archaeologists will be discredited if they come forward with any kind of information about anything that doesn't go along with Orthodox history. Okay, this book says there are a number of very important points to note about this article. 1. Note the sheer amount of detail provided about the alleged discovery. 2. Note the alleged involvement of the Smithsonian Institution. 3. Note the alleged involvement of the caverns discoverer, G.E. Kincaid, with the Smithsonian. And finally, note the alleged chief of the Smithsonian Archaeological Team, Professor S.A. Jordan. So basically, just notice that the Smithsonian is involved all the way around. I swear my nose looks shiny like it's sweating. But, okay. If my nose dripped or anything during this video, I apologize. And yeah, I know that's funny, but sometimes I can't feel it. I sit outside a lot and read. All I do is educate myself on ancient civilizations, lost technology. I began with ancient aliens, but I've since changed my mind. I want to get a theory out there. Hopefully people see this. I fully believe that the Atlanteans and the Anunnaki are the same civilization. And I do believe that they pretty much traveled the whole world. And I don't believe they were aliens. I believe they were just a lost race that archaeologists now refuse to admit existed. So there's that story. I do have other videos that I've been in the process of making that I just haven't edited yet, but I'm not going to edit this video because I don't see a reason to. Other videos I want to add pictures to and stuff like that. So I haven't uploaded those yet, but it talks about connections between specific ancient cultures. Even ones that are literally half a world apart from one another have similarities. But I will get to posting those as soon as I can. It probably won't be tonight, but hopefully that this story was interesting enough that people actually listen to it, because even though I have literally probably over 500 different books all about ancient civilizations. Why does my nose look so shiny? Even though I have so many books, I've never read this story before. Even in the books about Egypt or the archaeology, or the Egyptians, I meant, not archaeology, or I even have books about the Grand Canyon, and I've never read this information anywhere. But I've read theories that people believe that the Grand Canyon was created by the flood. Anyway, my nose is really starting to drip, and I apologize for that, but it's really cold out. But thank you guys for listening if you did, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel. And if not, whatever. If you don't like what I had to say, then just don't listen to it. I don't need no negative comments. I can't help it about my nose, but yeah. See. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. Believe you shall.